Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular their bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Turn 3 Racing Network. And yes, this is iRacing, and among that, this is Racing for a Cause. Here on a Wednesday night, it's the Super Late Model Series Spring Edition of 2020. I am your host, Kris, and with me, as always, is my good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, bud?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing good, man. Wednesday, we're back out here with Racing for a Cause on Wednesdays. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, a couple of week hiatus after getting the season started early, and well, we hope to see some more winners here, because that's one thing that's definitely been going on. 2 races, 2 different winners, and as a result, we've got some points to start talking about here. Up top, it's going to be Jeff Dillon with AJ Rogers right behind him by 1 point. Those 2 drivers, the only 2 to win so far this season, Justin McDuff and Zach Coyer. Andi Lambert rounding out the top 5. Then Vader, Matt Vade in 6th spot. AJ Hamill 7th. Al Smith Jr. 8th. Mark Fravor and James Somke rounding out the top 10. The other side, you got Justin Rigsby, Jeffrey Stiles, Kris Stump, Brian Hacker, Dylan Blankenship as your top 15. Travis Wright, Mike Fravor, Brandon Mefford, and James McIntyre Jr. rounding it out. And a lot of those drivers have only run one race here with Racing for a Cause so far this season. But nonetheless, here we are getting ready for race number 3. And this race brought to us tonight by
Kris Stump.
Yeah, Kris Stump.
Humanize the Badge.
Yeah, I had that.
I know, it's okay.
I really did. I had that. I don't know. I was looking for my button that I had programmed in, and it's not there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, sorry about that, Kris. I knew it was you. And yeah, Humanize the Badge. That's what it's all about here at Langley. Very, very short track, sub 0.4 of a mile with a really, really nice conditions out there. Track temperature 74 degrees, air temperature 69. Rick, pretty soon, that's about where we'll be.
Yeah, it's coming, man. It's getting closer day by day, week by week. I can't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about 4.5 minutes left here of this practice / warm-up, whatever you want to call it. And I think from here, Rick, I think we just go into the feature. But I don't know.
So.
But I don't know.
Things keep changing week to week, and of course we took 2 weeks off, man. You had to do a little trip there down to I believe it was South Carolina. So glad to have him back. Glad to be back here. I have enjoyed the last 2 weeks off, but it made me a little soft. But I mean, I got home and I actually took a nap today.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie, I may have taken a little cat nap there from 7 to 8, but we're good to go now, ready to rock and roll. And Rick, I gotta ask you, the PBR light, what's that all about?
My aunt found it for me. It's called Pabst Blue Ribbon Easy. It's a low calorie. It actually tastes just like regular PBR. I'm actually kind of impressed.
But the real question is,
I have the Miller lights down next to me, if that's what you're asking.
There we go. As I take a swig off from mine, getting ready to go here. Focusing right now on Brian Hacker. Hacker has the hot shoe so far here during the warm-up. His best time, a 14.766. Justin Rigsby behind him with a 14.780, a 783 out of Jeff Dillon, and McDuff in fourth spot with an 829.
And really looking at the times, Kris, I mean, almost half the field pretty close to each other. So this is going to get real interesting tonight. I mean, the sun is starting to set. I'm excited about that, man. I love racing under the lights.
Oh, yeah, me too. It's definitely something cool about that, something familiar. Short tracks all around the United States. Love seeing them go under the lights, man. It's a different kind of racing.
And it's going to be real interesting to see who's going to win tonight and end up in Dale Lemon's victory lane here at Langley. We know Hacker's fast. We know there's a lot of fast guys out here.
Oh, yeah.
But, you take a 2-week break, and the drivers, unless they have actually gone out and practiced, which I'm sure a lot of these guys did do a little bit, but 2-week hiatus, man, that almost feels like 2 months sometimes.
It can. And then there's people like me that, haven't touched the steering wheel in like 8 or 9 months, except for to move it further out of the way. And I don't even think I could drive one of these things right now.
I bet you would be fine.
Well, the 52 of Jeff Dillon, he was race number 1's winner. And man, was he fast that race. AJ Rogers, of course, picking up race win during the second race. But the real surprise story so far this season, for me at least, has been the 15 of Zach Coyer. Coyer has been just lights out so far this season as far as consistency and really decent driving. Last season he was plagued, Rick, accident after accident, and it was like he had too much beer.
I don't know if there's any no such thing, I don't think, but listen, drivers go through those times where things are gonna go right. No matter what you do, your car does what it wants to, what you want it to do, and everything goes well. And then you have an off season, and then you got to just kind of bounce back, and that's something that Zach Coyer has definitely done. And of course, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Brian Hacker tonight in that 11 machine, Kris. Last season's champion. He hasn't done, he came off that high from last season. You got to try to bring that momentum, but it's hard because guys do take a really long off season, and so it's tough. But I definitely got my eyes on that 11.
Well, with about 20 seconds left to go, we've got 16 drivers in server. So I think that means we go right to the A main, but Yeah, we'll find out.
We're going to find out in about 5 seconds, Chris, of what's going to happen. I mean, I missed the heat racing, but these guys also been inverting fields and stuff, so it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking might happen. I think it might be an inversion from the last race, but it's hard to keep track of that because I don't have all of the finishes of the last race. Anyways, we're going to find out together because we are getting ready to grid right now. We got 2 laps to get through them all. It's 16 drivers starting on row number 1. On the inside, your pole sitter tonight, it's going to be the 99 of Justin Rigsby. To his outside, driving the 1 car, it's James Somke. Row number 2 to the inside, the number 10 of Travis Wright. To his outside, the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles. Starting row number 3 to the inside, the 72 car of Andi Lambert, Dylan Blankenship to his outside. Row number 4, it's going to be Brian Hacker. In the 11 to the inside, Zach Coldbeer Coyer sitting to his outside in his number 15, Rick.
And then in row number 5, we got the 44, Mark Frabert. On his outside, the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Inside row number 6, the 8, that's the Vader, Matt Vade. Going to be starting there. Next to him, the 96 of Al Smith Jr.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Are you still... Okay, yeah, you can hear me, right?
No, I can hear you. That beep you heard was my overlay dropping.
Yep, that was mine, too.
Oh, perfect.
So Al Smith Jr., then we got Justin McDuff, A.J. Rogers, James McIntyre Jr., and Michael Frabert. Going to be rounding out the field there in 16th position.
Give us just a moment. We'll get that overlay back up and running for you. Got to let the computer settle down just a little bit. Meanwhile, we are getting ready to go to the green flag. Excuse the choppiness. It will go away here in just a moment. Under the green flag. Rigsby up front. Oh, yeah, big crash here already. It involves the 1 and the 20. 20 takes a tow. That's a tough tow to take just after the first lap. Let's see if I can get this thing back far enough to take a peek at that. Yes, I can. So we're going to watch and see what happened between the, I believe it's the 1 and the 20. Big checkup there. Oh, the 1 got into the wall, came down on the hood of the 20 car. Both cars hitting the inside rail. The 1 able to continue on. The 20 takes a tow. And that is not a way to start this race, Rick. As now Somke comes on pit road as well. McDuff and Somke both being scored 1 lap down. Justin Rigsby is the race leader. And thank goodness I was able to get the overlay up relatively quickly here. And be able to show that.
Well, what kind of freaked me out was we both crashed at the same time, so we're gonna have to look into that for next week.
It's odd because my other copy does not do that to me. You have to delete this one and start fresh.
Kind of what I was thinking too.
Boy, Rigsby car tonight is pretty cool looking. You get in close to that thing. Star Legacy, and that is really, really cool.
I like it.
I'll go ahead and thank everybody for coming on out to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. We're watching the Racing for a Cause guys getting it done here. The 125 lapper.
So a few guys moved around there. Obviously, we know Justin Rigsby leading right now. Kris, Travis Wright in that 10 machine going to be right behind him. Andi Lambert, Brian Hacker, Mark Robert rounding out that top 5.
Yeah, back under the green. And Rigsby took off. Travis Wright right behind him trying to hold on. And here comes Andi Lambert. Good battle for third spot between him and Brian Hacker in the 11. Hacker had a second to look in there. Didn't quite have enough. Has to back out of it. And here comes Hacker to the outside, trying to make that outside lane work. And Brian Hacker in the 11 gets around, as so does Dylan Blankenship in the 51. Maybe not quite the same way as Hacker did. Let's go back and take a peek. You're looking at the 51. That's Dylan Blankenship. He's to the inside of the 85, Jeff Styles. And boy, he comes off from that corner and gets a little loose, nosedives into that inside retaining wall. And that brings out caution number 2 of this very, very early race.
You know, it's hard for these drivers, Kris. They've just had 2 weeks out. They want to get out there. They want to race. You know, there's been updates. I haven't really looked at the patch notes to find out what the hot fixes and everything are, but one thing I'm noticing, you know, we're only on lap 10 of 125. These guys have fairly fresh tires with that first early caution on lap number 2, so got to be careful. I think that's what happened. It just kind of bit Dylan just a little bit there, coming off that corner and just getting on the gas a little too much.
Yeah, I think you're right. Comes out just a little bit loose. Chris Mefford, what's going on, brother? Hope everything's well for you.
And why the heck aren't you out here tonight? I know you know how to wheel these things around.
So Justin Rigsby, Travis Wright, Brian Hacker, your top 3. Andi Lambert slid back to 4th right before that caution came out. Mark Fravert in 5th spot. Matt Vader Vade sitting in 6th. Jeff Styles, Zach Colbier Coyer, Jeff Dillon, James McIntyre rounding out your top 10. Just outside of that top 10 in 11th spot, it is the 17 of A.J. Rogers, the 96 of Al Smith Jr., Mike Fravert in the 36, running in 13th spot. Dylan Blankenship in 14th. James Somke running in 15th, still on pit road after that initial caution. McDuff loaded it into the hauler. He is on his way to next week.
Speaking of next week, I believe we're at Southern National, so I'm looking forward to that.
So no. I dig it.
I dig it.
Somke coming out of pit road, 10 laps down, going to rejoin the field as the caution lights are off, getting ready to send these cars back under full speed. And Justin Rigsby has been getting wonderful restarts here so far. Here we go again under the green flag. Rigsby again with a great restart. The 10 goes way high. That allows Brian Hacker and Andi Lambert to advance positions. Brian Hacker just like that in 2nd spot. The 10. It's Travis Wright still stuck to the outside. Wright going backwards as he's sitting now in 5th spot. Rick, that's tough. Starting 2nd and just a lap and a half later, you're sitting in 5th.
Well, you know, that's kind of the fun thing about short track racing, Chris, is, you know, little things like that can happen. And then you just gotta work your way, pick your way up through, do what you gotta do. But right now, let me tell you, the guy who has this figured out so far, and it doesn't matter that we just came off a 2-week break, Justin Rigsby doing a really good job. But look at Brian Hacker, Chris. Last season's champion right on his tail.
And I love how his number looks, man. That mirror finish is that's awesome. Got to go back a little bit further in the field before you see some 2x2. And that's Jeff Dillon to the inside of the 85 Styles. Styles now starting to go backwards as the 17 of Rogers follows Dillon through. Remember, the 52 and the 17, the only drivers to win so far here on a Wednesday night. And they are definitely trying to get there again as we're on lap number 19 of 125. And that backstretch is providing some great action here as the 17 closes to the back bumper of the 52. Can't quite get there and backs away again. So it looks like Jeff Dillon in his 52 a little bit quicker on the stretches. But man, oh man, does Rogers catch up going into the corners. Wow.
Yeah, Rogers right there, Kris, just waiting for a mistake out of the number 52 machine to capitalize. Whoa.
Oh, Andi Lambert way tight. Andi Lambert was sitting in 3rd spot. Now he finds himself in 7th spot, and he's got the 17 of Rogers closing in. The Rogers mobile got underneath the 52. Now he's under the 72 and gone. Here comes Al Smith Jr. in the 96, taking to the inside, coming out of turn number 2 on the backstretch, and he took that spot. Here comes the 52 of Dillon underneath the 72 of Lambert, and the 85 of Styles looking to do the same.
These guys are out there having fun right now, Kris. I can tell you that.
Little bit of racing going on as the 99, your race leader, Rigsby, and the 11 of Brian Hacker just absolutely pulling away from 3rd place. Mark Fravert in the 44. Travis Wright sitting in 4th spot. Still, Zach Coyer's moved up into 5th. Here comes Vader. He's sitting in 6th spot. Oh, the 44 gets tight out towards the wall. Vader goes down to the inside. He brings Rogers and Al Smith Jr. along for the ride. Fravert loses another one to Dillon, so the 44 slides back 4 positions in a blink of an eye.
I mean, this is almost like super speedway racing, Kris. I mean, these guys, you know, they get out of that groove, and obviously that inside lane where everybody wants to be, but you get caught on that outside, man, you lose positions quick.
Oh, you certainly can. Justin Rigsby goes around one more time, leading the way. Here comes the 1 of Somke. Somke coming back down pit road. Somebody gets into the wall. Not a big deal. They keep going forward. And look at that. Just like that, the leaders are coming again. This field's starting to stretch out here just a little bit. And it is being led by Justin Rigsby. He has led every single lap here so far. Somke trying to get back out on track or just stay out of the way, one or the other.
You know, I have a feeling that Hacker's just kind of playing the waiting game right now, Kris. I mean, he is staying glued to that back bumper of the 99 machine, but that Star Legacy Foundation Chevy SS looking pretty good out there so far. Not sure if Hacker's going to be able to get around him, but I know he's definitely, that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to take that Mustang. He's trying to figure out what that SS is doing. And he's going to make his move just at the right time, I have a feeling.
Well, right now, you kind of get the feeling that Hacker is just waiting for the tires to go away on the 99. The 99 pushing really hard, and so far, I've seen that 99 wiggle just a few times coming out of the corner. So the right rear may already starting to be going away on the 99. There's a prime example right there. The rear end kicked right out of it.
Hacker just had, you know, he took a little look there on the inside, Kris. He's like, no, I think I'm going to stay here. He knows that those tires are going away, and he's going to be able to make his move soon.
I think he can afford to be a little patient here, Rick. We're on lap 33 of 125. This one kicking off pretty quick here.
It is. You know, you got the pre-race hitters out. You know, a couple of cautions. These guys settle down a little bit. Here comes Battle for the pass right now for the lead, Kris.
On the backstretch, the 11 to the inside, looking to take advantage of the 99, who looks to be a little loose. And Brian Hacker makes that pass. Rigsby not going to give up yet. Oh, man, Brian Hacker trying to hold on. Hacker does hold on somehow.
I think Hacker might have done a little dirt racing during that 2-week break there.
It certainly looked it, man. He was turning right to go left. My Lord, what a save. So new race leader Brian Hacker, he has been scored now for 3 laps led. Prior to that, it was all Justin Rigsby, led the first 33 laps here. And man, that was, I'm still in awe of Hacker saving that thing. That was wicked. Travis Wright sitting in 3rd spot. This man, Zach Coyer, sitting in the 4th spot. And look what's happening behind him. My goodness. AJ Rogers sitting in 5th spot. Al Smith Jr. taking the spot away from Vader. Oh, the 8 gets really loose. Tries to hold on. He does. Wow. Whoa. There's another excellent save. Not only does he save, but he comes back down under the 52 of Dylan trying to get there. Can't do it. So that's 2 cars we've seen almost go and decide, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Well, you know, both those guys, fabulous drivers, Kris, and they know how to handle these things. They go out there week after week, have a lot of fun in them. And Vader's, he's due for a good race there. He hasn't really kicked off so far this season, but it's still a little early.
Andi Lambert, who was a front runner here at the beginning of the race, marred back in 9th spot. He is leading the way, though. He's got the 81 of McIntyre Jr., Mark Robert, Jeffrey Stiles right behind him. And I'll tell you what, man, the 81, that's a hell of a good-looking car, too.
Yeah, we talked about that there last race. Those spec maps, man, I haven't had a chance. I played with them a little bit, but I don't have them down yet. I'm comfortable enough to do it, but that 81 is a very, very nice car. Looks like the one James Tomke heading back down pit road, Kris. I got my eyes on that 15 car. He finally got his paint scheme up. We were having issues there with trading paints. But Cold Beer Coyer out there in the Integrity Farms machine doing what he has to do. Started in 8th position, fell back down to 11th. Now he's currently sitting 3rd.
Yeah, but he is running a little bit tight, Rick. Through turns 1 and 2, he was up just a little bit. The 17 peaking hard to the inside, coming out of turn 4. AJ Rogers trying to get there, can't do it. Maybe into 1, takes him far inside lane. His left side tires underneath the yellow trying to get there, couldn't do it. Zach Coyer defends.
I don't know how much longer Coyer can do that, Kris, because, I mean, that 17 of Rogers very fast, and he keeps peeking that nose in, and one of these times he's going to get it.
I think so, yeah. And right now they're going behind or past the 51 Dylan Blankenship, and that might help the 15 just for a little bit here. Dylan Blankenship being scored 1 lap down, and he's letting traffic go by. These 3 drivers right here have been racing very hard this race. And I'll tell you what, man, Al Smith Jr., another one of those guys, he has been pushing that 96 very hard here tonight.
So that's one thing that Al Smith Jr. likes to do, Kris. He'll hang out towards the back for a little while until he gets his rhythm, does his thing, and then he starts picking them off one by one. Right now, Al Smith Jr. in that 96 machine started here in 12th, fell down to 15th, and is currently sitting in the top 5.
Your race leader by a little bit more than a second. Brian Hacker, 2nd spot belongs to Rigsby. AJ Rogers sitting in 3rd spot as Coyer starts to fall backwards just a little bit, stuck out on the outside. So Rogers with 3rd, Al Smith Jr. 4th, Jeff Dillon in the 52, 5th. Zach Coyer looking on the outside of the top 5 in 6th spot. This field's really spread out now, Rick. And, you know, I'm not one to wish for cautions, but hey, let's see one. Let's get these guys grouped back together.
Well, you know, that's all in the drivers' minds too, Kris. They're like, man, if we could just get a break here. Nobody wants to have a caution come out. Nobody wants to be the person to bring that caution out, but it would tighten up the field just a little bit.
Front brake rotors are glowing hot mad as they are getting around this track. We're watching the red just show up wicked on those front brakes of the 15. It's good to have those black wheels so we can see them.
mean, I don't care what folks say. I mean, iRacing has done such a fabulous job since I started the service only about, what, 6 years ago, I believe now. So many things have changed, man. Just little improvements like that really make it worthwhile. I mean, how many other games do you know that have going brake rotors? Not too many.
I know. It's amazing. And the fact that they cool off and go back to dark and then get red again. Realism is very important to these guys, and it shows in this service. We're going to hop aboard as Brian Hacker goes on the back stretch one more time. As soon as he gets back to that start-finish line, we're going to take a couple of laps here with your race leader, Brian Hacker, from the onboard cam. Hacker still able to put down some pretty good power here. Ooh. Jerking that steering wheel to the right, trying to save it. Ahead of him, the one of James Somke. Somke just trying to stay out of everybody's way so far, being scored 58 laps down, doing a good job staying out of the way. Involved in that first caution. Brian Hacker goes down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Climbing back onto that throttle. And man, good job from Brian Hacker, because I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun to watch this. I could watch it all night, to be honest with you.
What amazes me is how much he has to mess with that wheel, Kris, to get that car to do what he wants. Now, obviously, hard racing there with the 99 of Justin Rigsby all throughout the race, pretty much. Both cars are having issues with tires right now. Their tires aren't very happy, but, you know, so they have to fight that wheel just a little bit, but man, they're having fun out there.
Well, Rigsby is catching Hacker, and that, I don't know if Hacker is taking it a little easy. He had a pretty good lap, or excuse me, a good gap. And now Rigsby is starting to eat into that a little bit. So Rigsby may have backed off, let his tires cool down, and starts putting on the challenge again. Or Hacker's just backing off to try and cool his tires down.
I think that's on the mind of both drivers right now. I mean, they raced those tires pretty hard. They heated up. We saw it with Brian Hacker. I mean, he was just fighting that wheel, sliding here and there, doing what he has to do. So I think both of them are just doing that. They know that they have a little bit of gap there from third place. Might as well use it, but AJ Rogers not giving up. He is charging, trying to get up through.
I don't know if give up is in AJ Rogers' vocabulary, no. Rick. That 17 is pretty impressive here so far this season in his own right. And he's sitting here running in third spot. Al Smith Jr. right behind him. Jeff Dillon running in fifth spot. We are over halfway done with this one already. Only 58 laps to remain. And Hacker has now led the most out of laps as he passed the start-finish line last time. He had 34. Rigsby, the only other leader here tonight, with 33.
Man, these cars sound good out there tonight, though.
You know, they do. Between the sounds and the visuals, man, they got it going on. Checking in on early front runner Andi Lambert. Lambert started off basically in the top 4 and I think third, if I remember correctly. And the 72 is starting to build his way back up a little bit. Currently running in 7th spot, right ahead of Zach Coyer in the 15. So many times, you know, Rick, if you fall back early on in a race, you just can't let that get you down. You got to keep going. And so far, Andi, I think, has recovered nicely. He does have some damage to the right front fender, but nothing that's going to affect him here.
No, he's definitely going to be okay as long as that metal stays out the tire and doesn't cut it down, Kris. I think he's going to be fine. Andi started here tonight in 5th, fell down to 11th, worked his way back up, like we said, into 7th place. And now he's catching up to the back bumper of Vader. And then a braking machine trying to look at taking over 6th place.
I think Andi would be really happy with a top 5 finish here, considering how well he's doing so far in the point standings. As we
It's
focus.
all about being, all about being consistent, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Refocused again on Brian Hacker, your race leader. Taking a peek at the gap back to Justin Rigsby. It's 0.8 seconds. So that gap has kind of settled down a little bit. It's more maintaining than anything at this point. But I think Hacker may have gotten his tires maybe a little too hot. So he is backing down some. Rigsby trying to take advantage. That's 1.39 seconds behind Rigsby, back to AJ Rogers. 17. Knows he's going to have to make some sort of late race run here as there's only 48 laps to go. Make it 47 as they cross the start finish line. Again, this track, Rick, only a little more, or well, a little less than 0.4 of a mile. So it takes no time to get around this thing. This is very similar to Thunder Road.
You're absolutely right. I mean, a little bit of a difference, but not much. I mean, these guys, once they got settled in, Kris, those laps just started taking away very, very quickly.
Of course, next month I get to go over to New York and visit with Al Smith Jr. I get to visit with the man KR Stolfus and Muth in the booth, Roger Muth. And really hoping that you can come along for that ride, Rick. It's going to be a good time. You know it is.
Oh, I know it definitely is, and we're going to try to figure it out. A lot of things going on here in the Hammond household. Honestly, right now, I would love 2 hours of uninterrupted sleep and a healthy family.
Yeah. Well, just saw the first signs of the 17 maybe heating up his tires as he came out of the last corner a little bit loose. And Al Smith Jr. going to try and make him pay here in the next few laps as he gets right to the back bumper of the 17. AJ Rogers may have lost his tires, Rick.
I've been watching this race going on now for the last couple of laps, Kris, and I think you're right. I mean, right now, Rogers doing everything that he possibly can to keep that 96 behind him, but man, you know that 96, he is very focused right now. He's just waiting for one little mistake and capitalize from it. I mean, he is glued to the back bumper of Rogers' car.
Two Ford Mustangs battling it out, Rick.
They are. As we saw Al Smith Jr. kind of peeking on the inside, Rogers went way up towards the wall there. That's the thing that's hard for Rogers because he's trying to watch out to see what's going on ahead of him to see if he can catch up to Rigsby, but he's also racing out of that rear view mirror right now.
Yeah, that's a trap. You got to stay racing out of the windshield.
That's right. Don't look behind you because you ain't going that way.
As this battle goes on, another battle may be starting to form because Justin Rigsby has cut that gap down to a half a second to leader Brian Hacker. So Rigsby late in this one, turning it on just a little bit. 36 laps to go. And the 99 looks like he is getting stronger at this point in the race.
Well, you know, you mentioned it earlier, Kris, that maybe Rigsby just held back a little bit, let those tires cool off, just ran his line. He knew that he had a good gap in between him and third place, so I think it's starting to pay off because right now that 99 is looking fast. That's going to be kind of tough on Hacker also if you really think about it because he's enjoyed all these laps now so far, 58 of them leading this race, coming into 59 now.
And all of a sudden,
he's pulling away.
He's pulling away, Rick. Hacker may have been playing a little possum there.
Yep. He's like, okay, Rigsby, I see your tires cooled off a little bit. Well, you know what? Mine have too. Bye.
As he hits the loud pedal and starts stretching that lead back out to 0.8 of a second. Brian Hacker running strong here. Gap back to third, really unchanged. As a couple of early cautions kind of smooth themselves out, Rick. We're under a very long green flag run here. Only 2 drivers have dropped out. So far, the 51 of Dylan Blankenship, who's showing 25 laps down as of right now, and Justin McDuff, who was involved in that very first caution with James Somke, 95 laps down and out. Meanwhile, Brian Hacker has built that lead back up to almost a full second with 27 laps to go.
Yeah, 1 second almost, and like you said, there's 27 laps left to go. Soon it'll be 26 here, but if Hacker keeps going, he's going to have to deal with some lap traffic, and that could really come into play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll see what Pravert does there in the 44 machine to see if he tries to just run his line or if he just lets the leader go.
Really a shame about Pravert's run here tonight. I was watching the 44 during practice, and he seemed to have some pretty decent speed, just not translating into race conditions, unfortunately for him. But right now being scored in 13th spot on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's really tough on driver morale too, Chris. You go out there, you have a really good practice. You know, if you do some qualifying, you get a really good qualifying position, but you know, you get out there in the race and the car just changes, doesn't do what it wants to do. Right now, that track temperature looking pretty good though, 79 degrees. The air temperature holding steady at 69.
Yeah,
not much change there.
Track temperature has gone up only 4 degrees during this entire run. We are under the lights. That's helping out, certainly. But Brian Hacker, he's got 22 more laps to go, Rick, and man, he has been looking very solid here tonight.
And you know, I wasn't going to bring this up, Chris, but as they come down turn 4 right now, we're going to be going across that start finish line. We're going to see that full stand of crowd. Now listen, there's a lot of things going on in the U.S. right now, motorsports and all different kinds of sports events and stuff like that. They're telling people to stay away, but not here at iRacing. That's one thing I love about iRacing, man. We can be up here in the booth with all these people enjoying a beautiful race on a Wednesday night, and we don't have to worry about it. There's no Coronas here. It's Miller Lite and PBR.
Miller Lite. I am catching a bit of a Miller Lite virus right now. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah. The good news is we only got 19 laps left to go. Soon it's going to be 18 as Brian Hacker comes out of turn number 4. Down that really short front stretch into 1 and 2. And I don't know. I don't think the 99, you know, I mean, these guys that are going a lap down, they're being very respectful, moving out of the ways of the leader, let them go by. Actually, it looks like the 10 right now, Travis Wright, really kind of holding up Rigsby a little bit.
I don't know if he's holding him up. I mean, Rigsby has to get to the back bumper, and really he hasn't been able to do that. It's not that the 10 is slow.
No. But I feel he's doing the right thing too, not just pulling up and saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
He's just running his race, doing what he has to do.
I mean, there's a time to do it. And it looks like he's setting himself up to do it this time. He is. Into turn 1 and 2. But you don't want to just roll over. You want to make it a race. And that's exactly what he did. He got out of the way when it was appropriate.
Yeah, now he lets the 17 of AJ Rogers by. I love the amount of respect that these guys have for each other out here on the track.
in 3 more laps. Brian Hacker going to get 2 handfuls from the flagman. Going to be showing 10 laps left. And amazingly, this race, like I said, it started off 2 cautions relatively back to back. And man, did it smooth out after that. We've gone green the rest of the way. Brian Hacker took over on lap number 33 to lead lap 34 and hasn't looked back since.
And, you know, Hacker had to do some work, Kris. He started here in 7th position, worked his way right up through the field pretty quickly. He waited for the right time to take that lead, and then he did.
Yeah, he really moved, like you said, very quickly. And that could have been enough to burn out the tires itself. But somehow, some way, that 11 able to hold on to him. And he just got the 10 to, or excuse me, a lap ago, he got the 10 to go, now 9. Rigsby in 2nd, AJ Rogers 3rd, Al Smith Jr. in 4th, Vader in 5th, Dylan Lambert, McIntyre, Coyer, and Fravert rounding out the top 10.
And you got Jeffrey Stiles, you got Mark Fravert there in 12th place. Travis Wright looks like he has packed it up, Kris. He is going home. He's going to be in 13th position. Dylan Blankenship, he has also packed it up and be scored in 14th. James Somke, he's been digging.
Yeah, he's tried not to let that first caution affect his race as much as possible, but 77 laps down, 15th spot is Somke, and Justin McDuff not able to return after that first incident that put his nose into the inside wall. 4 laps to go for Brian Hacker, working the backstretch right now. And that car looks as good right now as it did on lap number 50, Rick.
It does, man, and you're right. I love those numbers, just how they're kind of chromed out like that. It looks really well.
Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching Racing for a Cause right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. This has been a doozy. 2 laps to go as he crosses the start-finish line. Brian Hacker looking to try and win his first one of the season. He is last season's champion, looking to get back into the swing of things, maybe try and pull off another championship run. Caution, or excuse me, white flag, not the caution flag, the white flag in the air. 1 to go, brought to you by Turn 3 Racing Network. And coming out of turn number 4, your race winner, Brian Hacker, Rigsby, AJ Rogers rounding out the top 3.
What a race.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a moment. Get ready for some post-race interviews. Brian Hacker going to burn it down. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ready to go for some post-race interviews, and tonight, the third place finisher getting it done. Really strong tonight. The 17 car of AJ Rogers. AJ, this is Kris and Rick up in the booth. You have a copy.
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Doing well, but well, listen, a third place finish to follow up a win, and the season is rolling on pretty well for the 17.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's pretty nice. Kind of sucks starting at the back at this track because the track position is so important. But those couple early cautions kind of helped me out a little bit. So I'll take it. I'll take a podium any day.
Well, I'll tell you, man. Again, it's looking like a pretty darn good season for your Ford Mustang here so far. And yeah, you're right. Every time you finish well, you get rewarded with having to start towards the rear of the field. But, you know, somehow, some way, you made it work for you here tonight with that third place finish.
Yeah, I like his track. I knew it was going to play well to me as long as I could stay out of traffic and not burn the tires off the first half of the race. But it seems like I could catch Rigsby, and I had Al there behind me for a while, so I was worried about him getting under me and me pushing too hard, burning it up, and then trying to catch Rigsby at the end, and I just didn't have enough time. So no, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed running with these guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. But anybody on the 17 Ford Mustang that you need to thank tonight?
Just my teammates and my sponsors on the hood and on the side with Wheeling and Dealing and Dixie Products, and y'all for putting this on up in the booth, and everybody that comes out and does this week in and week out with us. It's a lot of fun.
It certainly is, AJ, and you're a big part of that. Thank you very much, bud. Congratulations once again on your third place finish.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night.
You too, bud.
And that was third place finisher AJ Rogers. And Rick, I believe you caught up with second place finisher Justin Rigsby.
Justin Rigsby, driver of the number 99 Star Legacy Foundation. You got Rick and Kris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, fellas, what's going on?
Hey, man. Well, first, welcome back from a little 2-week break for us. It seemed like a month, man, but you came out in here and did it tonight.
Man, I'm wore out.
I bet you are, man. You got the pole, and you had a very, very long battle. I mean, you did a great job. You led 33 of the first 33 laps, and then you got little trouble with Hacker there, and you let him by you, man. What happened?
I wouldn't say I let him by, but he definitely had something figured out I didn't. I tried to stay with him, and every time it seemed like I'd get to his bumper, he'd pull back away, and I just didn't have nothing for him there at the end.
Well, I think what really happened was it seemed like a little while once he got by you, you started kind of like saving your tires, letting him cool off a little bit, and it seemed like he almost kind of figured out what you're doing because he kind of did the same thing. I think you guys were both on the same track on what you wanted to do there, and man, you had a heck of a run out there tonight, so congratulations on taking second.
I appreciate it, guys. These cars are definitely tough. It was easy to slick up at right rear, and you would have to back her down a few laps, and like you said, I think he kind of figured out what I was doing when I tried to catch back up to him, and he'd gas it a little bit, and it was a fun battle overall.
Yeah, you had a great race, man, so congratulations on second. Anybody on that 99 you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, Star Legacy Foundation, Ryan's Fatted Calf, Heritage Barbershop, Dude Products, Willie 94.1, Attitude Graphics. Just appreciate everybody being on the card and making them look great.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, take that momentum with that second place, and we'll see you next week at Southern National that we're going to.
Oh, it should be a blast.
All right, buddy. I bet it will be. Congratulations once again.
Thanks, y'all.
And that was the driver of the 99, one worn out, Justin Rigsby. And we've got one more to talk to. It is the driver of the number 11. It is Brian Hacker. And Brian, this is Kris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you guys.
Man, dude, what a race for you. Starting 7th, couple early cautions, maybe helping you get up there a little bit quicker. But once you got there on lap number 33, you took over and had a hell of a run. There was a couple of times I saw you get a little bit loose, maybe in like turn 1 and 2, especially coming at it 2. Overall, how was the car tonight?
This track's always a handful. It's I don't know, the tires go away quickly. The tire model that's on these cars right now is not the greatest, so it's like, driving on ice skates after about 30 or 40 laps. So I was just trying to hold on, but I kept looking at the guys behind me. Wanted to keep Rigsby, about a second behind me at any given time, and I know, AJ Rogers and Al Smith, they were coming, but I was trying to save that whole race. I just had a weird feeling that we were going to get a caution with like 10 to go, and I'd have to hold them off, but luckily it didn't happen.
I was kind of thinking caution too, so I mean, good call there. Now, there were times when you had that second lead, and even up to 1.2, then Rigsby started catching back up about a half a second, 0.3 of a second at one point. Were you just saving tires at that point, and you knew you had some more underneath your right foot, or was he genuinely catching you and you couldn't really do much about it, and then all of a sudden it came back to you?
Yeah, I mean, he would, and I would watch him catch me, and I was saving, so I was kind of playing a little bit of cat and mouse there and let him get close to me and see if I could pull back out just to see what I had left in the tank. But there were a few times that I looked up in the mirror and he was a lot closer than I would have liked him to be. So he ran a good race, he ran a solid race, and it was honestly just kind of, once I got up to second, hopefully waiting for him to slip up, and he kind of drove it in a little hot a couple times, and I was able to get underneath him, and that was all she wrote, fortunately.
Well, you were last season's champion, and you just got your first win of this season. You missed, I think, yeah, you did. You missed the first race. What are your aspirations for this season?
Well, I knew I wasn't going to be able to defend. I've got, with it being spring and my work schedule and travel schedule, and I travel for work sometimes and whatever it may be, I knew I wasn't going to be able to probably run for a championship. Who knows now? I mean, with all that's happening in the world, I probably won't be traveling a whole lot right now, but we'll see. I know there aren't any drop weeks, so that first week missing really hurt me, but if I can string together a few of these, maybe I can get it in the top 3.
That's awesome, bud. And hey, we're gonna have to see how the season plays out for that. But for tonight, by the way, the 11 on your car, I love it. It pops hard. But who do you have to thank on your number 11?
Yeah, well, first I'll thank Scott Austin. He's the one that actually painted this car for me. He does an awesome job, and of course you guys for doing this every week, and Andi for putting this on, and the guys ran. I think we had two or three cautions there, but we went on a long green flag run there to end it. So kudos to everybody in this race tonight for running clean and running hard. And on the car, I've got Beagle Freedom Project. Been running them for 3 years since I started running with you guys. So it's a charity that's pretty dear to me, with the Beagle that usually rides shotgun next to me every time I get in the car, and then Western Super Series, Smith Racing Inc., Narrative Coffee, just to name a few.
No problem at all, brother. I love it. And man, congratulations once again on the race win here tonight. You definitely deserved it. You were the class of the field, Brian, and we hope to see you again right here next week.
Thanks, bud.
All right. That's the driver of the number 11, Brian Hacker, coming away with the race win here tonight from Langley. I want to thank everybody for coming on out and enjoying a little Racing for a Cause action right here on a Wednesday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For my partner, Rick Hammond Jr. Rick, I hope you have a great night. Get some sleep, brother. And for me, I hope I get some great sleep here tonight, too. Ladies and gentlemen, you have yourselves a good rest of the week. Don't forget, this Sunday night, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, Rick and I go along with the Blazing Pedals as we try and conquer Phoenix International Speedway one more time. I stumbled right over it. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a great night. We will see you again next time.
Good night, all.